Bibles to 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Korintus 15. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 35 to 41. Verse 35 to 41. Ya. 1 Korintus 15 ayat 35 sampai 41. I'm reading from the ESV. How about we read interchangeably? It's okay if you have different version, it's fine. Yeah. So I'm going to read verse 35. You guys read verse 36 onwards until verse 41. Different translation, it's okay. We like diversity. Okay? But if you want to be the same like me, this is the ESV. Okay? ESV. Okay. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 35 to 41. But someone will ask, how are the dead raised? With what kind of body do they come? 36.
You foolish.
Go ahead, church.
You foolish person, what you sow does not come to life unless it dies.
And what you sow is not the body that is to be, but a bare kernel, perhaps of wheat or of some other grain. Yes, we have it. Cool. Okay, so mundur sebelumnya. Mundur Yos. Aha. Okay, so I just read that, right? What you wait. Yes, correct. And what you sow is not the body that is to be, but a bare kernel, perhaps of wheat or of some other grain. Verse 36, church. Ayat 39, yes. Okay, for not all flesh is the same, but there is one kind for humans, another for animals, another for birds, and another for fish.
There are heavenly bodies and earthly bodies. The glory of the heavenly is one, and the glory of the earthly is one.
There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For star differs from star in glory. Amen. So what's been going on is this. The church in Corinthians, they do not believe that the resurrection can happen. And we in the Christian church, we believe in body resurrection. Now, not spirit, okay? So, they are basically asking, if you look back at verse 35, they're asking two questions, basically. They're asking, how is it that the resurrection possible? Right? And if so, what is the nature of our resurrection body? Now, Paul answered those two questions in verse 36 until 49. For 36 until 49, but we're going to look at the first one only. So we're going to look at how is it that the resurrection is possible. Okay? And because of that, I just want to focus on these two questions today. Yeah? These two questions. How bodily resurrection happens. Because see, the Corinthians say, there is no resurrection. Why don't you believe resurrection? Because I can't explain how, you see. Because I can't explain how, so it's not there. That's a bit of faulty logic, right? But the second one, maybe in a way more practical, how bodily resurrection is relevant for us today. So that's just 2 points, 2 questions. Okay? Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, so he began by saying, if you look at verse 36, okay? Open your Bible, still open your Bible. You foolish person. Now, this is not saying, see, I can call somebody else a fool. No, okay? It's not the Bible. Ini bukan Alkitab. Ada ayatnya di Alkitab, boleh kasih orang goblok lu. Bukan, saudara ya. This is not full as in goblok. This is full as in keras kepala, yeah? Okay, as in someone that is, you know, being told what to do over and over again, but still remain obstinate. Okay, so and in this context, a fool is someone who says in his heart, there is no God. Okay. The book of Psalms, I forgot 2 chapters in Psalms say, who is a fool? A fool is the one who says in his heart, there is no God. So here fool does not mean not smart. Fool does not mean not intellectually capable. Fool here is a person, listen, who fails to take God seriously. Okay? Let me tell you a story. There's an avid duck hunter, maybe you know this story before. He was a dog hunter and he found a new dog. He was looking for a new dog and then he found one. So one day he was shooting at ducks, right? It happens in the US, obviously. I don't think you can shoot ducks here. And you shoot ducks here? Maybe not. Okay. So he was shooting ducks, right? And then the duck fell. And then the duck fell on the pond. And then suddenly there's this dog. The dog ran through the river or the lake, and then to his amazement, the dog did not sink. The dog walked on water. This must be Jesus' pet, right? Ini pasti binatang pelihara Tuhan Yesus ini, diajarin bisa berjalan di atas air gitu kan. So and the dog grabbed the dog and gave it back to the hunter. So the hunter was very happy, was so shocked, and he, oh my God, nobody will believe me. Nobody will believe I have this dog. So he decided to break the news to his most skeptical friend. Doesn't believe in God, doesn't believe in miracles. And he invited him to go hunting. Come with me. So he began shooting some ducks. Bam, 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 right? And the duck fell, and then his dog, come on, whoever, right? Go and fetch, right? And then he fetched, walk on water, fetch the duck. And then bam, 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 again, a couple of ducks fell, and basically half a day, that's what happened. Poor ducks, right? So many ducks died that day, just to make a point, but each time a duck fell, the dog walked across the surface of the water, and the skeptic, his friend, just watched and did not say a single word. He was, okay, this is interesting. And then on the drive home, the hunter asked his friend, so buddy, Bob, did you notice anything unusual about my new dog? I sure did, Bob responded. The skeptic says, your dog cannot swim. So, see, he missed the miracle. Did you see? He says, yeah, your dog can't swim. See, you can be the smartest person and yet a fool. Why? How? When you overestimate your own reasoning power, and most importantly, you underestimate the creative power of God. See, in the days of AI is, artificial intelligence, in the days of self-driving cars, everything can be explained by science, right? So more and more people have less mental space for miracles. Resurrection, impossible. Dead people cannot come back to life. But see, Scripture teaches us that God is not like this clockmaker. Okay, God makes the world and then let it run on itself. You have all the mechanism. I'm just going to let it go. No, the Christian understanding of God is involved in all creation. He never lets go. He never lets go. He is intimately involved in everything that happens in the physical universe. So the way I see, one is helpful way to think about miracles is like this. G.K. Chesterton is one of the scholar. He said that much of the problem arises from people misinterpreting the regularity of nature. Let me explain. What it means is, normal people, they look at the sun rise again and went down. It's just, this is just nature. It's just repetition. It's over and over and over again. So it must be not God. It must be some chemical or physical law. But so it's just machine. It's a sign of machine, right? It repeats and repeats and repeats. So there is no God. But there is another kind of repetition that is not mechanical at all. Ada sebuah repetisi yang meskipun kelihatannya ngulang, tapi sebetulnya nggak mekanis. Example, a child can hear the same story every night for a year, right? Especially those who have a child. A child can enjoy the same trick over and over again. I remember when I was a child, I would go to ride the same roller coaster over and over and over again. I mean, I even remember, it's just a child likes to say again, right? It's the same, dude. I know, but I want to do it again, right? See? That's just what a child does. So, and children don't get tired of repetition. Neither does God. That's why Chesterton said it like this. Is it possible that God says every morning, do it again to the sun? And every evening, do it again to the moon? Why can't we see it like that? The point is, it's not oh, it's a miracle, now is there sun outside? No, no, the point is not everything is a miracle. The point is God keeps all things happen in regular, predictable way. So what is a miracle then? A miracle is simply a different way of describing God's activity. He does the natural and He does the supernatural. Both are meant to point people to God. In other words, if there is a God who creates this universe, miracles must be possible. Miracles must be possible. So that's what we have to grab in the beginning. Okay? Without that, we cannot make sense of body. Now, let's go then into our text about body. How is Paul trying to explain this? Okay? So Paul tries to explain this resurrection body in a metaphor. You look at verse 36, 37, it says, what you sow does not come to life unless it dies. And what you sow is not the body that is to be, but a bare kernel, perhaps of wheat or of some other grain. But God gives it a body as He has chosen, and to each kind of seed its own body. Let me explain. I want you now to think of two images in your head. One image is a seed. Got it? A seed. Bukan snack. Seed. The other is a plant. Okay? Seed and a plant. Whatever plant you like. Okay? You can even imagine that plant. Okay? One is what? Small. Most probably small. Round and hard. Right? Small, round and hard. The other is maybe long, green and lush. Right? Seed and plant is unlike each other. Beda. Gitu. But they are related. Right? They are related. In fact, everything that the plant becomes is already inside the seed. The seed has the potential, the natural potential to become a plant. Therefore, the plant is not the rejection of the seed, the plant is the fullness of the seed. Got it? So too is the resurrection. You see. So our physical body right now is like the seed. It has to die. And then after then God will raise it up. Our resurrected body now becomes like a plant. Like a plant. We will not be raised as a ghost, a zombie, a terminator. We will get a new glorious body. The kind of body that Jesus has. The kind of body that is able to somehow walk through walls and then eat fish at the same time. And perhaps go to the toilet, right? Paul gives us more example from nature. Okay, look at the seed, look at the plant. You get it, you get the switch, you get how it may look different, but it's the same. Okay, now look at creation. Okay, look at verse 38. But God gives it a body as He has chosen, and to each kind of seed its own body, right? For not all flesh is the same. But there is one kind for humans, another for animals, another for birds, and another for fish. Now, this reminds us, let me just continue reading until verse 41. There are heavenly bodies, earthly bodies, but the glory of the heavenly is of one kind, the glory of the earthly is of another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars, for star differs from star in glory. You look at the names, right? You get fish, birds, animals, sun and moon. What is Paul talking about? Paul is reminding us the Genesis 1. Masih ingat ya, kejadian 1, penciptaan. Penciptaan. In day 1 until day 3, God created what? Night and day. The sky, the seas, and the land. Day 1 to 3. And then day 4 to 6. Okay, now you've got all this space, right? I want to fill them. I want to fill them. God filled those space with bodies appropriate for each space. So, animals for land, birds for sky, not Superman, right? And fish for the sea, and so on and so forth. The point, and it's a bit, Paul is not trying to insult our intelligence, But the point is simple. God is pretty experienced when it comes to finding appropriate bodies for stuff. Okay? I mean, think about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of species of animals, of plants in the world today, and each is unique, right? And God knows where to put them. I mean, the morning by Jacob gives an illustration, it's pretty good. I mean, imagine if a lion has the skin of man. What happens when he hunts? When he runs, there's no shoes, right? Ow, 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 sakit, huh? And when he, wants to grab the lion, grab a deer, go through a bush, and then, right? Because our skin is so precious, right? But God knows how each fits together. God is infinitely creative. And this is His area of expertise. Now, the question is simple. Do you think that God, who has made countless of bodies since the beginning of time until now, do you think that God is going to struggle to make resurrected bodies for us? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, but let me tell you a story how all of this thing about body and afterlife becomes relevant. Because I see you now, and I'm seeing your eyes, it's like, okay, what this has to do with me, right? Sure, we have body, okay. So let me tell you a story. So, with regards to the afterlife, the ancient world, okay, listens to two guys mostly. Either they listen to a guy named Homer, not Homer Simpson, okay? Homer the poet, okay? This is the time of Old Testament. Or they listen to Plato, the time of New Testament. Okay, let's look at Homer. So Homer functioned like what most people believe in the Old Testament period, besides the Jews. Okay, Homer, tolong Yos, kalau nggak salah, yeah, this is Homer. Homer is the legendary author of the Iliad, if you've read it, of the Odyssey. Right? It's a legend. It's an epic poems. It's the central works of Greek literature. Now, there's a famous story in the Odyssey. The hero, his name is Odysseus. He went to the house of Hades and Persephone. Persephone? Basically, he went to hell. Okay? He went to, Hades is the god of Hades, Persephone is his wife, and Odysseus went to visit hell. First, now, in hell, in Hades, Odysseus met with a couple of characters. And here, so you can know, what's going on in the understanding of afterlife according to Homer and many, many other pagan Greek authors. First, Odysseus met with his mother. His mother is named, let me see, Anticleia. Pretty cool, huh? And when he saw his mother, he wanted to embrace her. He wanted to hug her 3 times. But each single time, the mother just, like a gas, like a foam, just vanished. She can't grab her. She's like the word here in the Odyssey. She flitted from his arms like a shadow or a dream. So you get a sense that the dead is like a ghost, spirit, phantom, basically a subhuman existence. Okay, and then Odysseus went on, and he met with his fellow comrades of war. He met with guys called Agamemnon, if you like Troy. He met with Achilles, Achilles, yeah, and Ajax. Ajax, another Greek hero, not Ajax the soccer team, but although yeah, you can, if you like Ajax, is a hero, mythical hero. So, and Ajax, especially Ajax is still upset at him. Even in Hades, Ajax is upset at Odysseus for something going on in when he was alive. So there's an angry ghost, okay? Apparently you have angry ghosts as well in Greek mythology, right? And Odysseus, he met with his, one of his, he talked with Achilles, because Achilles is one of those big heroes, right? He's trying to console him. He said, Achilles, I know you're dead, but now on earth everybody is worshiping you as God. You are very, very honored. So here in Hades, you must be honored too. Right? But then this is what Achilles said. Oh, this is the picture when Odysseus went to Hades. one of the paintings. Okay, so he met with a bunch of figures. You will see. This is what Achilles say. Never try to reconcile me to death, glorious Odysseus. I should choose so I might live on earth, to serve as the hireling of another, some landless man with hardly enough to live on, rather than to be lord over all the dead that have perished. What he's saying is, I'd rather be alive right now than dead. I'd rather be someone's servant on earth than to be dead. Okay? And he said this as he was weeping. So that means Hades is clearly not fit for human habitation. This is a place where the dead ones seem to be sorrowful or angry or both. And in Hades, you also have a bunch of judgment going on. You have figures like Minos, you know, the bull god, right? Who's giving judgment over the dead. You have a certain Tydeus, who is now tormented by pecking vultures. You have Sisyphus. Have you heard of Sisyphus? You know, the guy who kept rolling the stone up the mountain, and then the stone came back, and he has to roll the mountain again, right? That's one form of punishment. That the guy is called Sisyphus. So please don't name your child Sisyphus. So the point is Hades, afterlife, for Homer's Old Testament period. Hades, death, holds no comfort, no hope, only a profound sense of loss. And most of the dead are essentially, they are subhuman, not fully alive, except a guy called Hercules, and we'll later see. Okay, but let's now go to Plato. Okay, so you got this image of Hades, right, of Homer. But Plato, his view is very popular during the New Testament period. So it's closer to the Corinthians. In Plato understanding, it's like this. Tolong Yos. Plato understanding is like this. Okay, the soul is good. Okay, that's why the soul is like a man. The body is bad. So the soul is trapped in a physical body. So what is heaven? What is salvation? Salvation is when you escape from physical, from matter, from body. So with Plato understanding, he would say, when you die, it's not bad news. It's actually good news. Because you have been released from prison. You get it? So you've been released from prison. Now you can go to a place after life. It's not a place of gloom like Hades, but a place of delight. A place, the heaven, the paradise of Plato, is full of, he said, pleasing activities, especially philosophical discourse. Obviously, he's a philosopher, so he said that the best activity in heaven is thinking. Thank you, Plato. That's what he said. I mean, so when you get to heaven, the best of our activities when you debate and have, philosophical discourse. So, but also in the heaven of Plato, you have judgment too. But for them, judgment is not so bad. Actually, judgment is more like the triumph of justice. The triumph of justice. The evil has been done, and good has won. But at the same time, have you ever heard of the name Elysium? There's a movie actually, Elysium. Another name is the Isle of the Blessed. Pulau yang diberkati, pulau terberkati, Isle of the Blessed. So there is a place in Plato's heaven, if you can say it like that. There's called a Elysium, or Isle of the Blessed, which is kind of like first class. Okay. So it's like if you go to heaven, that's like a plane, everybody sits on coach, right? Everybody's going to get economy class. But if you are a hero, if you are an emperor, if you have done mighty good things during your time, and mostly men, no women allowed in first class apparently, you can get upgraded to go into Elysium, to the Isle of the Blessed. And there you find figures like Hercules. You find guys like Dionysius. Dionysius is basically the god of wine and art. I mean, you can guess, right? A good place, you gotta have wine. So you gotta kind of wine has to be there, right? You get Asclepius is the god of healing, and you get Romulus, the founder of Rome. See, basically they are elevated to divine status. So the point of all I'm saying about Plato and Homer is this. The point is, if you follow Homer, you will not get a body. Spirit, phantom, sad, gloomy, right? But if you follow Plato, you don't want one. That's why when Paul says, we will get a resurrected body, everybody's like, huh? We don't want that. That's downgrade. You see what I'm saying? It's not upgrade, it's downgrade. Because in Plato understanding, no, the body is bad. The body is bad. But whichever you look, whichever point you take, the commonality is this. Death was all powerful. Nobody can defeat death. Homer, Plato, none. Okay? Now if you look for a moment in other religious, okay, so very quickly. In other religions, you might have, reincarnation, right? And then you go to a place called nirvana, right? Well, do you know what nirvana means? Nirvana means quenching out, blowing. So nirvana, the image is like this. Imagine a candle burning, and then psst. That's what happens when a soul goes to nirvana. That's the classic illustration. So nirvana is a place where all desire is complete and the person is transformed into another state of energy. Obviously very different from our understanding of heaven. Okay? In Islam, you have paradise, right? Where basically you go, where sensual activities seem to reign supreme, right? All the sensual activities seem to reign supreme, but there is, according to my knowledge, there is no relationship with God in paradise. And then with atheism, what do you get after life? Well, nothing, right? Nothing. See, sometimes it's funny. So, if after we die, it's nothing, and atheists say, yes, there is no God after, so afterlife. So basically, if atheists were right, when they die, they cannot celebrate their victory, right? And if we are wrong, we cannot regret as well, because we don't feel anything. So, they cannot celebrate, we cannot regret, so okay, whatever, right? Because nobody will feel anything. So you got reincarnation, you got paradise, you got nothing, annihilation, but now you have what's called transhumanism. That's when you can upload your consciousness, they say, into a computer or a robot, and tellingly you can be in a you can achieve cybernetic immortality. That's the promise, right? That's the promise of the world. There's or another way is, if you don't like robotic bodies, you can go the other direction, is actually going to super intelligence, super AI, super artificial intelligence. What happens is, basically, now we live in the world of data, right? You chat, you post stuff on Facebook, Instagram, all of that, right? And you have photos. Now, there's a movie actually being made about this. Basically, you can get all your online data, combine them together, and make them like a virtual you. Get it? So somehow, if let's say I die, and then my family wants to hear me talk again. Obviously they can't, because I'm in the coffin, right? So what happens is the company can then look at all my data, online data, that I've been, the way I type, the way I respond to message, to post things, and they kind of create Edo 2.0. And then that version they call, when my family calls me, it's going to have my voice, it's going to have the way I answer the phone, and even they can go all the way to make an Android version of me, literally like me, same body, everything else, because they have my photos, right? They have my height, they have my KTP, right? And make like a synthetic version of Edo. That's achievable right now. See, that's very interesting, right? So maybe that's what the world promised. But then with cybernetic immortality, I don't think anybody can get that, right? I don't know. It's going to be very expensive, right? It's not. I don't think it's a hope. If it is, it's an exclusive hope. I mean, how many can get like that? I shared before, right? A pair of robotic legs. When I share with you the story of the Boston Marathon, a pair of robotic legs is $200,000 each. I mean, imagine the whole body and uploading the consciousness, if they can do it. I don't know how much that costs. And then, what about the people who've gone before you? What about your family? What about your dead ones? You might achieve immortality, but heaven promised you can meet with your loved ones, those who passed away before you. Cybernetic immortality cannot give you that, right? You're just going to be alone in the earth with your super dog. So the point of all I'm saying, I'm giving you just a simple or quick go through of what all this is this. Tolong yes. What do the best of these ideas promise? Ini kan semua ide-ide yang mungkin baik ya. Nah, yang terbaik itu apa sih yang mereka kasih sama kita? Apa sih yang mereka berikan harapannya itu apa? What do the best of these ideas promise? Well, one, they promise us rest. Tunggu yos. They promise us rest, right? So basically they're saying, you've lived a hard life on earth, hush for you, right? Everything is okay now, you can relax. Yeah, you can relax, right? Okay, that's good. But then, what happens to justice, right? What happens with all the bad things that people have done? What happens to them? Rest? Yeah, it's good, but what about my dreams? But then they also promise, I think, some promise, like many, Antoneos, they promise reward and punishment. Mostly in monotheistic religion like Judaism, in Islam, and other religions, they promise in heaven, if you are good, if you did good, you get to eat something good, right? For eternity now. Buffet all the time, and you cannot get fat, right? If you did that, well, either you prepare to meet your doom, or go back again on earth, try again. Restart, incarnation, right? Reward and punishment. Some promise reconstruction, right? So you get what? You become flying angels, you become spirits, you become one with the cosmos, right? You become robots, you become computers. See? I think all these three are the best that the world has to offer at this point, I think. Rest, good. You got punishment, awesome. You got justice there. You got reconstruction. But the Christianity, the message of the resurrection, promise us all of those things and more. They promise us, gospel of Jesus Christ, promise us not only rest, not only reward and punishment, not only reconstruction, but restoration. Body restoration. We have a new glorious body. We are able to have a perfect identity, able to enjoy the most intimate fellowship with the triune God. We can have intimate fellowship with His saints. And think about this. In 200 years, let's say. No, in 100 years, I'm going to see you in heaven. Right? If you are the child of God now, in 100 years, I'm going to see you in heaven. And you might look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know. You might look, famous. See, I'm going to enjoy you, and you're going to enjoy me. You're going to enjoy God. See, the resurrection, I think, is still, as I've known, the best promises, the best hope that overcomes others. See, our destiny is physical. See, despite all the spiritual talk you hear in the church, Christianity, if you understand it correctly, okay, listen to me, Christianity, if you understand it properly, is perhaps the most worldly, the most earthy religion of all. And I use the word worldly as the best sense of the word world, okay? Our final destiny is physical. Our final destiny is productive. We are not angels flying with our little wings playing harmonica all day long. But we're going to be productive. We're going to do something, okay? And our final destiny will be communal. We're going to make cities. We're going to make villages. We're going to make stuff. We're going to build stuff, right? So heaven, as one author said, is the world of love. That word said that. Now, what does it mean then? What does it mean with all of this wonderful news? How should we respond? Well, first, what does it mean? You should not be afraid of death anymore. See, unlike Plato, we say death is bad. It's not good. When someone dies, you cry. You don't laugh. When someone dies, you don't say things are going to be better. Wait. Maybe yes, but not now. You grieve. You don't say God must have a plan for you. He does. But right now, God's plan for you is to be on the side of your friend and cry with him or her. Because death is bad. Death is enemy. Jesus wept for Lazarus, right? So death is an enemy. It's bad, but it is a conquered enemy. It's a defeated one. So the question of what next after this life, if you ever wonder if, let's say, today I die and I close my eyes, what happens next when I open them? What will I see? Who will I see? What is going to happen? That question has been decisively answered by the empty tomb. What happens next when you open your eyes is you going to have a time, is you going to have a life with Jesus. Hidup bersama Kristus. How exactly, where exactly, the Bible does not say much. And we don't have to know that right now. All we need to know is that after we die, we're going to be with Jesus. And then one day, we're going to return here on earth. A new Jerusalem, new earth. Our final destination is not ephemeral, ethereal heaven, but it's here on earth. Heaven going down to earth. That's why Jesus prayed, thy kingdom come. Not thy kingdom go, but thy kingdom come here, as on earth as it is in heaven. See? So, and that means, church, that the worst, right, I wrote there, the worst that the world can throw at us, that is death. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you is death, right? The worst thing that can happen to you is actually the best thing that the world can bestow upon you. A life with Jesus. No more pain, but ultimate holiness, intimacy with Christ. And secondly, our response, we should honor. You should honor your body. See, because we will be resurrected, that means now our body now matters to God. See, the problem is in this world, especially in our modern day understanding, right? In this world, our bodies is just like are seen as just tubes of DNA, right? Just tubes of DNA. This is not why this body is not me. The real me is inside. So I can do whatever I want with my body. That means even right now, we believe we have the moral right, we believe even obligation to define and categorize ourselves not in relation to our bodies, but in response to our feelings. Jadi, saya bisa melakukan segala sesuatu terserah saya. Kenapa? Karena aku ngerasa begitu. Bukan karena tubuhku seperti ini. The standard becomes feelings, not bodies. Body is regarded as plastic, emotion fixed. And so the body, imagine like this, the body is like a canvas. So kan mau apa? Lukis ya, you want to paint. See, the body is like your canvas, and you want to, and it's there to promote your the inner you. So you can draw whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with your body. See, so we display our inner selves not only through the clothes that we wear, not only through the hairstyle, but now we display who we are with what? In consuming alcohol, consuming drugs, right? Because we don't care about. I like drinking. I like doing this because it's my body. However I treat it is up to me. Do you know what unites the LGBTQIA? Now it's so long, okay? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual. So You have another 3 letters to memorize. Good luck, okay? LGBTQIA. So what unite all of them is the mindset behind them. Is the mindset is like this. The mindset is human beings are not created male and female. What matters is not the body, it's my feeling, you see. It's behind the movement of homosexuality. And the same actually, it has ramifications on many other social issues. For example, just let me give you one more, okay? The same I hate my body mindset, it's actually what gives rise to this understanding that being a wife, being a mother, is a biological punishment. It's an inferior vocation. Because now, let's use technology, let's use politics to raise the status of women. Do you get my point? Because, you know, they say, you know, it's just a body, right? So, if you're women, you are inferior because your body is inferior. Behind that is understanding that, you know, the body is, I don't like my body. So, but Paul is saying that, you know, no, we are, my body. Paul is saying, yes, it's fallen. It's not perfect. But this body that God gave me is a gift. It's a gift. It's not meant to be treated with contempt. It's not meant to be treated with however I want. It is not meant to be used by other means, but it is meant to be used only for the glory of God. It is meant to use to point people to Jesus, not away. So we should honor our body. Our body is important to God. Now finally, I wanna close with what this verse 40 and 41 keep repeating. Okay? Verse 40 and 41 keeps repeating about glory. Something new there. So in verse 40 and 41, you have heavenly bodies, earthly bodies, the glory of heavenly of one kind, glory of earthly of another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars, right? So, although Paul doesn't mention it, I think you can use the same illustration. Like, just like the sun, right? The sun also dies each night, right? The sun dies each night and reborn every morning. To the eye, the moon and the stars, they also die each morning, only to be restored to life every night. So they're saying that, you see not only in the world of agriculture do you see dying, a seed dying and becomes like a plant, but in the world of astronomy, you also see dying. The sun dies, quote unquote, and then rises again in the morning. Yeah? The moon dies in the morning and then rises at night. See, this is kind of the same, similar analogy. But the new thing that Paul added here is the word glory, right? Glory. It has to do with radiance, luminescence. It has to do, if you put it in the Hebrew, it has to do with weight. Okay? Glory, radiance, luminescence, weight. And when you apply that to people, see, Paul is saying, your body will be glorious. Okay? That's the point. What is glorious, Paul? When you apply glory, it has to do with honor, reputation, and being held in self-esteem. You will have, Paul is saying, with your resurrection body, you will have a full, bright, radiant existence. What does it mean? It's like, I think, I don't know exactly, because this is beyond what, this is when we are risen again, but I think it has to do something like this. Have you ever felt, now please look now into your life, okay? Have you ever felt a sensation when you say things like, this is what I was born to do? Pernah nggak saudara punya sensasi itu? Saat saudara melakukan ini, nah ini, aku ini dilahirkan untuk tujuan ini. This is what I was born to do. Maybe other people have pointed out, you know what? You know, Dave, when you sing, that's you. That's you. I mean, if Dave is not singing, it's not Dave anymore. That kind of thing, do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe you look at remarkable athletes, you look at Messi, you look at Phelps, maybe you can say at people like them, you can say, yes, he is made to shoot like that. He is made to run like that. He is made to swim like that. You see? I hope it is one of the most wonderful feelings in the world, isn't it? When you know that you are gifted at singing or painting or, you know, whatever your expertise, your talents are. And when you do that and you can feel, yes, this is it, this is who I am. Now I can make the world a better place and all that stuff, right? See, I think that is just a glimpse of what we will experience in the resurrection. Because the resurrection, that means we will finally become what we are meant to become. Finally, we get to become what we are meant to become. Physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually. Imagine that. Imagine that. Imagine that. And when you paint or sing or lead, whatever, no more hindrance, no more pain, no more envy. Just a progressive life, getting better to be the best version of yourself all the time. Who here doesn't want to be a better mother, or a better father, or a better boss, or a better singer, a better preacher, right? I want to become a better preacher. Now, I want to close with this illustration. Yours tolong. Like, as you know, I've liked lots of, I said a lot from movies, right? So, have anybody ever watched Tangled before? So, Rapunzel and the thieving bollocks named Flynn Rider, right? So they basically, they one time in the movie, they fled. You know, Rapunzel is locked in the tower, right? And then she fled the tower from her, scary mom, right? And then Flynn went with her, and then both of them, they ran away. And there's one scene, they went into a pub called the, let's see, Snuggly Duckling. Interesting name. Snuggly Duckling, where inside you have a gang of thugs. Good bad people with tattoos and, big guys, big otot, what's otot? Big muscles, they're drinking, just, making bad plans about stuff, and they recognize, Flynn is a fugitive. The king wants him. There's a price on his head. We need to capture him. All the thugs, all the macho men, all the bad guys, all the thieves and criminals, they try to capture Flynn. And then Rapunzel, she stood, and she defended Flynn, and she said, no, I cannot let you take him, because he is going to be my guide to fulfill my dream, Rapunzel said. And then, because she said, I have a dream. And then the thugs, they feel, you know what? We also have a dream. The thugs begin, no, we also have a dream. Do you think that we want to be bad guys? And then, like any good Disney movie, what happened next day? They sang, right? They sang, and the song title is, I've Got a Dream. I'm not going to sing for you. You can open in your YouTube if I've Got a Dream, and one of the lyrics goes like this, tolong yos. This is from Captain Hook. Yes, yes. This is what Captain, yeah. So this is what happens in the scene, that's Rapunzel and all of the thugs, right? All the bad people you can see with the horns, with the beards, with the muscles and all that. And then one guy with the Captain Hook character, okay, tolong yos, he sang like this. I'm malicious, mean and scary, my sneer could curdle dairy, and violence-wise my hands are not the cleanest, but despite my evil look and my temper and my hook, I've always yearned to be a concert pianist. And then he sang and sang and sang, I've got a dream, right? So I never wanted to be a Captain Hook. I never wanted to kill people with my hook. I wanted to play the piano. And then he said, all my friends are the same. Hatlakios. Tall is a guy's name. Tall would like to quit and be a florist. Gunter does interior design. Irv is into mime. Attila, perhaps a pun from Attila the Hunt, right? Cupcakes are sublime. Bruiser. His name is Bruiser, the guy who bruises people. Bruiser likes to knit. Killer, the guy who kills people, likes to sew. Van does little puppet shows, and Vladimir, right? collects ceramic unicorns. Small unicorns. So you see, the point of it, and I saw is that this is interesting. The point is not that, oh, are you saying that all bad guys are actually good inside? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that all of us are sinners. But I'm saying it's like this. I'm saying is life is harsh. Evil is real. Sin is destructive. Right? So C may want to sing. C wants to sing, but C cannot afford that luxury right now. Because C made a bad decision one night with a guy. Now she's a single mom working 2 full-time jobs trying to feed her 2-year-old son. He may want to be someone, but he grew up in a broken home family and that affects him, and then he cannot interact well with people. He is born a genius, a prodigy. He will become the next Messi. But then at last someone texted during driving, hit the boy, and he had to be amputated. He lost both of his legs. She was to become the best CEO ever. She would surpass Steve Jobs, but then her husband got dementia and she had to quit during the peak of her career and be with her husband, effectively shutting down her potential to make the world a better place. Do you get my examples? Do you get that sometimes, you know, maybe we haven't seen the best pianists of all time. Maybe we haven't seen the best singer, athletes, poets, preachers, pastors of all time. Why? Because of sin. We make that decision. I want to be this, but life happens, right? And so I have to reroute and become maybe less than what I want to be. It happens to many of us. To a few of us, I'm not sure, right? See, maybe you lost your legs. Maybe I want to be a soccer player. I lost my legs. Robotics, they can get you a new leg, but they cannot get you a new heart, right? They cannot shape your character. You might have the tools, but without the character, you can't go in. You can't go far. See, my point is, only the promise of bodily resurrection gives us the best of hope. The resurrection promises us when Christ came back, when we have our new bodies. You remember those missing chances? You remember those stupid decisions? You remember lost dreams? You know all your sinful weaknesses, my sinful weaknesses that stopped me from becoming the best pastor, your stupid decision that stopped you from becoming the best businessman. All of that will be wiped away, restarted, renewed, redeemed for the glory of God, for everlasting joy. There's a story by Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings. There's a guy, basically he wanted to paint, but life gets in the way. He only paints, he wanted to paint a tree, if I'm not mistaken, or a leaf or something. Oh, he wanted to paint a tree, a whole tree, but he can only manage to paint a leaf. He died, went to heaven, and he saw, first thing that he saw is a whole tree. His dream is fulfilled there. So I think that's what God's promising us. Rejoice. That means our last response is this: the bodily resurrection gives us reason to rejoice because the best is yet to come. I don't care what your missing chances are. I don't care what your lost dreams are. I don't care what your stupid decisions are right now. Later, you will get to restart again. Later, God will give you a brand new day to become the best version of yourself. Amen? Amen. Let's pray.